This is the new Audi i-Trail, and it's basically their answer to the Land Rover Defender, only from the year 2030. And here's the carwow top 10 things you need to know about it. In the future, Audi doesn't think that we're all going to be owning cars. Instead, we'll basically rent them. And you'll rent a car for a specific purpose. So Audi has already done a concept car of a car that you would use for just driving around the city. They've done one for going long distances up the motorway in utter luxury. They've also done a racy sports car. And now this is the vehicle which you would summon if you want to go out into the wilderness. This thing looks absolutely massive, but it actually takes up no more space on the road than a Q3. The distance between the wheels across the track is wider. Also, the distance between the front wheels and the back wheels is longer, so you've got more wheelbase. So, should be nice and roomy inside. So this car is all about bringing the outdoors inside. It's kind of like marketing speak for those bifold doors you can buy for your house. And I tell you what, it feels super airy in here. In fact, you can probably hear the echo. It's just so roomy. Now, normally on modern cars, you have quite a high waistline. Well, they call it the belt line, which means you have a small glass area, high metal area, and it makes the car look sporty. They've done the opposite for this. They've made it as airy feeling as possible with loads of glass. And you can see the wheels as well, so you don't go over a rock that could damage your suspension. I really like the fact that this is really low as well, because you've got no engine, it's electric. You've got the batteries underneath the floor. You get a great view forward as well. And of course, Audi's used the technology from the e-tron, where you don't have side mirrors, you have cameras instead, and they display an image there. Yeah, this car is all about visibility. This car is driven by 4 electric motors, 1 for each wheel, so they can actually operate independently to put grip where you have it most. It's really good. Also, you've got 4-wheel steering to help aid manoeuvrability. Combined, you've got 425 horsepower, 1,000 newton meters of torque, and a range of 400 kilometers on road or 250 off it. Obviously, being a concept car, this is very, very quirky in its design, and that extends to the lights. Now, you might think these are the main lights, but they're not. They're the daytime running lights. The actual main lights are up here on the roof rack, though they're not actually fixed. These are actually based on drones, so they can fly off ahead of you to illuminate your path through the wilderness. I want to see it working, but I can't because of reasons. As you can see, this car has a steering wheel, so if you want to, you can drive it yourself. However, if you don't want to, it is pretty much fully autonomous. So on the motorway, you can just sit back, relax, and let the car do its thing. Then when you go on an off-road trail, it can still drive itself, but for safety, you have to have your hands on the steering wheel, probably just in case, I don't know, a boulder suddenly rolls down the mountain or something crazy like that. If you're doing hardcore off-roading though, you do have to do all the steering yourself, though there are still systems to help you get down steep slopes. Now, one of the great things about this car is that you could effectively drive to the top of a mountain, paraglide down, and the car will autonomously drive itself down the mountain and meet you at the bottom. Brilliant. This car is primarily designed to be a 2-seater, but it does have 2 extra occasional chairs in the back. Look, and they're actually easily removable, and then you can use this entire space for carrying your dirty wellies, your dirty dog maybe, for wherever you've been wandering around out in the mud. Now, if you need to carry some more stuff, it does have a frunk, if you're American, or a fruit, which stands for front boot, if you're British like me. Look, there you go, another advantage of not having an engine up front. And there's loads of room there, definitely a lot more than in the current e-tron. Unlike on a normal car where you have a separate alloy with the tyre wrapped round it, the wheel and the tyre are actually one unit. And actually the car, as you're driving along, it can sense the terrain you're on, and it will alter the pressure of the tyres to improve your grip and comfort. And that works in conjunction with the adaptive suspension as well. Also, the tread on the tyres isn't like that of a normal car. The reason is that if you actually go into unspoilt lands, it doesn't look like you've just driven through it in a normal 4x4, so people won't know you've been there. One of the things I find silly about current cars is that manufacturers spend loads of money developing their own in-house infotainment systems. That cash could be better spent making the car better or cheaper to buy in the first place. Well, in the future, Audi thinks that they won't have to do that. Instead, we'll just get our mobile phone and just plonk it like that, and it'll integrate with the car seamlessly. There are a lot of little cool features dotted around this car which you can actually remove to take with you when you're wandering about in the outback. So you have a emergency medical kit there, which could come in handy. There's also some binoculars there so you can spot wildlife. Water bottles to keep you hydrated. These seats can actually be removed, and you can stick them in a tree and use them like hammocks. And then of course there is a torch for if it's dark, yes. Now, I wonder where Audi got the idea for this from. Skoda, maybe? Hey guys, I forgot to tell you, in the past, Audis used to have the word Audi written on them, but they stopped that and all the cars just had rings. Now though, this car has Audi written again, which suggests that in future, the Audi name will be seen again on cars. Total geekery.